Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me today. This is Marilyn Gale. And before I get started with Tyler Perry's episode 7, part 1 of Sisters, let me just remind anyone that have not subscribed to my channel I invite you to do that now and to click the notification bell, and to also remind you that I have another channel, Eat with Marilyn Gale, and that will be how-tos, how to cook something, and just a few mukbangs, just a few. So let me just get in with this episode 7 now. Now the scene opens where Andy, she goes into the conference room where the partners are, and Gary's wife, which her name is Mrs. Forrest. Now, Andy asks, what's going on? Andy's boss asks Miss Forrest, do you want to talk? And she nods her head, no. Will someone tell me what's going on? Now, Andy's boss says Mrs. Forrest feels bad about pulling out of her divorce, and she feels bad and humiliated. She was going to go to another law firm. However, I convinced her to talk to you first. I told her there would be no judgment, right? No judgment, says Andy. No judgment regarding the divorce, but her boss interrupts her and tells Andy, that's why I told you to bring your things so you can take her for coffee. And you are completely okay with representing her. Mrs. Forrest tells Andy, I know you are the best. Please take my case, please. So Andy just looks at her boss like, you know I can't do that. And Andy tells Mrs. Forrest, let's go to my office and talk about it. Would you mind waiting for me? No. I just have to talk to my boss. So Miss Forrest gets up and goes to Andy's office to wait for her there. Now, everybody leaves Andy and her boss in the conference room alone. As soon as they're alone, Andy's boss tells her, I don't want to hear it. You are representing her. Sir, with all due respect, I'm having an affair. Stop right now and look at it like this. And he hands her a folder. This is their net worth. I don't want to hear anything else, but you will represent her. I can't do it, says Andy. Why not? I have to excuse myself. I can't do it. You're looking at this the wrong way, says the boss. You had an affair with this guy a long time ago. I never said it was a long time ago. I won't do it. Then you need to walk out of the door with her. Sir. Look, you already signed her. You're already in jeopardy of being disbarred. I told you the first day, sir. No, you didn't, says her boss. Sir, are you serious right now? I'm not threatening you. Just do your job. Sir, this is not my job. I just want you to do your job and do it now. That's all I'm asking. Do your job. And he walks out of the conference room and Andy just stands there in disbelief. She then gets her things and goes to her office where Miss Forrest is waiting. When Andy sits down, Miss Forrest takes off her ring and says, here, it's yours anyway. Which is true, guys, because Gary gave the ring to Andy first. Miss Forrest only has it on the rebound. Now, Andy just stares at her looking surprised. I mean, this is going to cost me an arm and a leg, so I better start paying for it now. And Andy looks at her and says, I think you should keep it, Miss Forrest. So Miss Forrest puts it back on her finger and tells Andy, please tell me you're going to represent me. Helen swears by you, and I don't trust anybody else. I know a great attorney. I knew it, says Miss Forrest. What? That you wouldn't do it. I saw that look on your face when I told you I was going back to him. The look I gave my mother 1,000,000 times that she would not go back to my father. And I told myself 1,000 times I would never be like her, and here I am. Gary came in telling me he couldn't do it anymore, and then he left. He walked out, and my children were crying. My son has autism, and this is the hardest on him. Did he say where he was going? Says Andy. No, just that it was over and that he couldn't do it anymore. What the hell happened to counseling? That son of a bitch. I'm so sorry, says Andy. I'm sure he has his reasons. What? What the hell kind of reason does he have for walking out on his family? Some $5 hoe and he doesn't have any respect for herself. Guys, she got a raise because it was a $2 hoe at first. I'm sorry. Back to the script. I'm sorry. I'm just so mad. I should have known something was up when he comes in with tears. I thought he was crying over us. His horror must have upset him. Do you have any proof? Says Andy. No. The private detective was lame as hell. So Andy tells her to give her the number of the private detective so she can call her and see what he has. Smart move, Andy. Smart move. You mean you're going to take my case? I'll take a look at it. Thank you. And she hands Andy the private investigator's card. Miss Forrest gets up and leaves. Now the next scene is at the bank where Danny walks in and sees Maurice, Sabrina's co-worker. Danny says, well, hello. I thought you were. Maurice looks at her and tells her, you say something smart. Something smart? Says Danny. I'm a man and you know that, right? What are you talking about? Says Danny. You were going to say you thought I was a man. Just because I'm gay does not mean I'm not a man. Why are you so hostile? Says Danny. Who, me? Yes, you. Why are you here anyway? You don't have any money in the bank and your friend is working. And aren't you supposed to be too? Says Danny sarcastically. I can't stand you, says Maurice. You want me, says Danny. With Danny saying that, Maurice acts like he's gagging. Go do your job. I'm trying to. And Maurice walks off. Now Danny just walks up to Sabrina's window in the bank and not paying any attention that there's a line or not even caring. Sabrina apologizes to the next person in line. So Danny looks over to Maurice and says, and I want you too. And she laughs. She asks Sabrina, why is Maurice so hostile? Sabrina tells her, don't you remember what happened at the New Year's Eve party? Now, guys, I think Maurice came to the party in drag extravaganza, which is why Danny was surprised when he was a man. Not sure, but that's what I think. Okay, so Danny tells Sabrina she thinks Zach came on to her last night, and Sabrina asks, Danny, did you give him... she asked him, Danny, what did you give him? I'm talking about weed. The same thing I gave you. Girl, I came on to you after smoking your weed. Listen, I'm serious. Look, I think he was just high. And don't tell Karen, says Sabrina. I'm telling you, he came on to me. He was high, Danny. Are you saying he could only be attracted to me if he was high? That's not what I'm saying. You know that. People tell the truth when they're smoking, Sabrina. Not the weed you gave them. Well, what did he say? He said, yo, you can't hide behind your jokes and that sexual stuff. He used the truth on you, Danny. Oh, so now he's telling the truth, Danny? Just talk to the man. Look, just find out what the truth is with no chemicals involved. Got it? Okay, now, let me do my job. Okay? Let me make a withdrawal. Girl, you don't have an account here. Bye. Bye. The next scene, Andy is in her office pulling her messages, and Gary has left a few. He says he didn't mean to put her in that position and that he had been drinking when he asked her to take his wife's case. So she just erases all the messages. Now, Andy's secretary comes in saying she has an Aaron Harper Carter here to see her. Who is that? He says he was referred by your friend, Karen. Does he have an appointment? No. She calls Karen and asks if she sent an Aaron Carter to see her. That's the guy I was telling you about. Is he there? Oh my God, he must be serious. Well, I can only tell him what he tells you. Oh, you abiding by the rules now? Bye. Bye. That's them two being silly. I guess that's their little thing. Bye. Well, Andy calls her secretary and tells her to send in Mr. Carter. And Mr. Carter walks in her office and they introduce each other. So, what can I do for you today? Says Andy. Carter explains his wife is cheating on him, apparently more times than he realized. Now, Carter shows Andy text messages and pictures of his wife and the guy at the airport and on vacations as proof. He says he's given his wife the car, the house. They will share custody of the kids as long as she goes to therapy, and $1.8 million in cash and $25,000 a month. Seems like you have it all worked out, and tells him that he needs to speak to his wife. She needs to speak to his wife's counsel. No, she signed it. When? This morning. Does she have an attorney? No. Has this agreement been notarized? No. Well, she needs representation. She can tell the judge she signed the agreement under duress. She won't contest it. Well, we'll need to get this notarized. So you have one here? I do. But I need her present. She can come right over. If I may ask, says Andy, why are you in such a big hurry? Carter tells her he has only one rule, that she never cheat on him. He says, I can deal with anything else. So no, there's no going back. I'm not a man that's unclear about his decisions. I don't have to think about this. Okay, says Andy. Carter asks Andy could she give him 30 minutes. Okay, says Andy. Carter gets up and leaves, and Andy quickly calls Karen. Karen picks up the phone. She says, well, what did he say? He wants a divorce today. He's a man that knows what he wants. Guys, I have the same thing in common with Carter. There's no going back after you cheat. That's my rule as well. And that is the end of this episode 7, part 1. I hope you guys enjoy it. Forgive me for not getting the tones right and maybe the attitudes right and of the dialogue, but I'm really not an actor. actress, although maybe I should be. These YouTube streets make you act sometimes. So anyway, I'm not getting into that. Thank you for joining me. Again, if you have not subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so now and click that notification bell. And guys, have a beautiful, wonderful weekend. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Good night.